We had gone through 8 verses of Laghu Vakya Vritti, and all through the 8 shlokas we have seen that the teacher pointed out to us the difference between capital I and small I, the pure consciousness that we actually are, and the reflected consciousness which we are very, very familiar with, the Jivatma in us. And then, now which of that is the real me? The teacher again pointed out to us to investigate into, to inquire into our 3 states of consciousness that we go through every day: the waking state, the dream state, and the deep sleep state. And he pointed out to us that pure consciousness is there in all the 3 states: in the deep sleep, in the dream state, and in the waking state, whereas the reflected consciousness is not there in the deep sleep state. Because in the deep sleep state, the individual, the Jivatma, the doer, the enjoyer is absent. The reflecting medium is absent because the mind-intellect equipment has gone off to rest. Therefore, in that state, since the reflecting medium is not there, which reflected for us the pure consciousness, and therefore it became the reflected consciousness, that is not there for us. So therefore, very beautifully, step by step, the teacher pointed out to us that the real me is the pure consciousness, because that alone exists in all the 3 states. How can we ever deny ourselves? Not possible at all. Therefore, that which was there in the deep sleep state alone must have been there in the dream and in the waking state. And what is it? It is the pure consciousness. And how is it possible, sir, to experience it? Is it possible for us to identify with it? He said, yes. It is very, very evident in the deep sleep, but we are not aware of it because we are in a state of ignorance. What about the waking state? In the waking state, the teacher told us, if we can enter into a no thought state, into a state of total absolute quietude where there are no vrittis, where there are no thoughts, say then we can connect with, not that we are not in connect with it, but we can very, very clearly gain a glimpse of the pure consciousness which we really are. It's not even gaining a glimpse of it, because we are that. But to help us to understand, the teacher uses these words. So when we are able to enter into the tushni bhava, the no thought state, the pure consciousness just behind it is very, very clearly evident to us. What about the state in which thoughts are there? Because every moment in our life, from waking up to going off to sleep, it's one thought after the other. Continuously thoughts are coming in us. So we are in a realm of thoughts. In that, when we are in the realm of thought, means we are thinking with the intellect, we are feeling our emotions with the mind, we are pursuing all our activities with our physical equipment, with our physical body. At that point of time, where is this pure consciousness? It is there just behind the reflected consciousness. In fact, the teacher told us all that we are able to do. The intellect is able to think, the mind is able to feel its emotion, the physical body is able to pursue or perform its activities, all because of the pure consciousness that is there just behind it. If the pure consciousness were not there, then everything would have collapsed. So whether we are aware of it or not, whether we are able to experience it or not, it is there in all the 3 states of consciousness. And therefore the teacher said, you are that. You are that itself. Then after that, he directed our attention to our life's experiences, because every moment in our life, something or the other is happening outside of us and inside of us. So our life is nothing but a series of experiences, one after the other, they are coming. Even if we are sitting quiet without going out, maybe close our eyes, everything, but in a dark room, but still experiences are going on. Something inside is happening to us. So therefore, our life is nothing but a series of experiences. How does that happen? He directed us to that. He said the pure consciousness is there, just in front of it is the reflected consciousness, just in front of it is the physical body with its organs of perception, the jnanendriyas, and with its organs of action, the karmendriyas. And with the help of these organs of perception, the jnanendriyas, we receive inputs from the world outside. Said Rupa, Shabda, Rasa, Gandha and Sparsha, all of them come from the external world outside into us. So the world is entering into us. When the world means objects and things and beings. Now things and beings as such don't enter into us, they can't come into us. But what enters in, they all enter into us as thoughts, vritti. So whatever we have seen outside is existing in us in a thought form. It can be a thing, it can be a person, it can be a situation. Everything exists in us in thought form. So when the whole world outside we allow it to enter into us, we should have experienced the world as it is. Instead of that, as it is coming in, the reports are coming in, the sense stimuli is coming into us, we color them. How do we color them? We color them with our vasanas. We color them with our prarabdha, our raga and dvesha. Vasanas can be divided broadly into two. My likes and my dislikes. That which is conducive to me and that which is not conducive to me. Mean raga and dvesha. Because to different extents. So the moment reports are entering into us, we don't register them as they are supposed to be registered. If that we are able to do, we won't have any problem at all. But we color them. When we color them, then we say, I like this, I don't like this. I like her, I don't like her. Then starts our problems, our samsaric problem. This is what is going on. But even in and through all of these activities also, whatever is happening, the realm of thoughts is what the teacher is pointing out to. How are we aware of our own thoughts? Something must illumine for us even our thoughts. The thoughts that belong to the category of I like, and the thoughts which belong to the category of I don't like, all of them must be illumined by some factor, because thoughts are inert. They belong to the subtle matter. They are subtle matter. So matter is inert and insentient. It doesn't have any life of its own. It doesn't have any dynamism of its own. So how do we become conscious of these thoughts also? Thoughts mean the objects and the world outside that has entered into us. There is a reflected consciousness just behind to illuminate. How did it illumine? It has got all the properties of the pure consciousness. So therefore the teacher tells us, ultimately everything that you know, or right from reflected consciousness up to all the reports that are coming in, and they get registered in us as our thoughts, my likes and my dislikes, and also extended outside of and our physical body, which consists of our sense organs, and beyond them the sense objects. Because sense organs become, they have their, what shall I say, their validity only because of the sense objects outside. So therefore from the reflected consciousness onwards, up to our sense organs, jnanendriyas, karmendriyas, and beyond that the sense objects, all of them, the teacher told us, all of them are illumined by the pure consciousness only, which is behind. So pure consciousness has got so many factors in front of it, subtle to grossest sense objects. Up till there it is able to illumine, and therefore we know everything. But then in the 8th shloka the teacher told us, far beyond all these things, whatever reports have come into us, the rupa, the shabda, the rasa, the gandha, the sparsha, along with the raga and dvesha, because they get colored by our raga and dvesha. All of them, the teacher is telling us, they all belong to the realm of the reflected consciousness. They belong to the jiva. The Chidabhasa, they don't ever belong to the pure consciousness. The pure consciousness is far removed from, he uses the word Kevala, Vivikta Kevala Chitihi. Pure consciousness is totally different from, far removed from, distinct from whatever is happening in front of it. It illumines, but it has got no role to play with whatever it is illumining. Sun's rays are illumining for us the whole world, outside our house and inside our house. Whatever is happening on the streets, in every street something different is happening. Whatever is happening in every house, everything the sun's light is illumining for us, but the sun is far removed from whatever it is illumining. It is completely distinct from all of them. It never ever gets identified with, contaminated by, touched by whatever it is illumining. Similarly, the teacher says the pure consciousness is just one. And in and through the example of sunlight itself, in and through whatever is happening, changes are happening. Inside the house or outside the house, on the road. When the sun rises, let's say from 7 a.m. onwards, every moment, every hour, and even the smallest time interval, so many things are happening. All of them continuously, without a break, is being illumined by the sun's light. There is no point of time when the sun's light is not illumining whatever is happening on the road or on the street. If it doesn't illumine, we will never be able to experience it. We will never be able to register it and know it. So, sun's light is common, uniform, through and through whatever is happening on the road. Similarly, in us also, whatever is happening, things keep changing. Now we see a form, now we taste something, now we are smelling something, now we hear something, and it can be individual or it can be a collective, it can be collective also. We are seeing a person who is singing. So form also is coming into us, we are registering the form, we are registering sound also. So like that, it can be one or it can be two or it can be collective. All of these things are happening continuously, one after the other, without a break. The teacher says constantly, through and through and through, continuously, experiences come and go, experiences change. But that factor behind it all, the pure consciousness, that never ever changes. It is there. Through and through, there is no break for it at all. Experiences change. What we register, whether we see, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, all of them keep changing. They continuously come. Thoughts keep continuously coming to us. There is no break at all. Never is there a moment in our lives where we are not, where we are devoid of thoughts. So it's like a river over there. My mind is thought flow. Like a river is water flow. Flow of water is river. Similarly, flow of thought is the mind. So in and through it all, just behind it all, there is something which is continuously there. Never ever it goes off into non-existence. So that's what the teacher told us in the 8th shloka over there. So when one by one experiences happen to us, there is something which is solid, continuous. Just like in a drama, scenes come and go, different scenes come. Now there is a tragedy happening. Now there is a comedy scene happening. Now it's a very serious situation enacted over there. Scenes keep changing. The background keeps changing, the characters keep changing, everything keeps changing, but the platform is solid over there. The stage never ever changes. So like that, pure consciousness that is there in us is the one which is continuously there, which is illumining for us all the change that is happening just in front of it. This is what was given to us in the 8th stanza. Now the 9th stanza, the teacher tells us, he goes into it a little more. He is investigating everything for us on our behalf. So the things become very, very clear for us. So the 9th shloka says, Kshane Kshane Anyatha Bhuta Di Vikalpaha chitir natu muktasu sutravat buddhihi vikalpeshu chitis tatha. So an illustration has been given to us very beautifully. First he says kshane kshane. Kshane kshane means moment to moment. Every moment, let's say every second, because that's the smallest time interval we are comfortable with, we are aware of. Even 1/1,000,000th of a second is possible, but second itself is such a small time interval. So kshana, let's say second by second, or kshane kshane, every moment. He says anyata bhuta dhi vikalpaha. Dhi means mind and intellect, the inner equipment in us. It's vikalpa. Vikalpas means modification, variations. Everything is changing. Anyatha bhuta. Moment to moment things are changing in our own mind. Thoughts are changing. Now we see this. There is a particular thought that is registered in us. Then immediately it goes back. Something else comes in front of us. So that thought is there. Pure consciousness is illuminating it for us. It's a complex situation that is entering into us. It's not one isolated factor that is being illumined over there. Thought itself is a complex entity by itself. So therefore the teachers say every moment in our life experiences are happening. Every moment within us thoughts are changing. One thought rises, and then it stays for some time, and then it disappears. Another thought gets created in us, rises in us. It gets sustained for some time interval, and then it also dies. So it's like scenes moving in us. Just like in a film, the film roll keeps moving over there. So when the film roll keeps moving, the light behind it is constant. It never moves. So when the film moves, the film is nothing but different pictures all together. Each one of them is a photo by itself, it's a slide by itself, all well connected, which we call as a roll over there. So when that moves at a particular speed, then we see movement over there. Because the slides or the photos or the pictures overlap so fast, it gives to us a feeling of continuity. But what is there just behind it which makes it possible for us to see the play of colors on the screen? It is the light behind it. That is permanent, that is constant. No light, there is nothing to illumine the film roll, therefore we will not see anything on the screen. So every moment, similarly in our lives also, what the mind registers. What the mind registers means thoughts, because mind is nothing but thoughts. So when we talk of the mind, it is nothing but thoughts. Thought flow is the mind. So every moment, the teacher says over here, vikalpa, it keeps anyata bhuta, means different things come, enter into us. So therefore in the mind, something keeps on changing. The thoughts keep changing. Rapidly they are changing. And when they rapidly change, we get a feeling of emotion over there, dynamism over there. That is what gives life a continuity for all of us. Just like when small little photos or pictures or slides move at a fast rate in the projector room, it gives to us a feeling of motion when we see the pictures projected on the screen. Similarly for us, every one experience is an isolated experience, but every experience comes so fast, one behind the other. All the thoughts get lined up so quickly one after the other that there seems to be a continuity over there. And that continuity is what we call as our life. Life is always for us continuous. We never break it up into different sections. It's a flow for us. From morning we get up till we go off to sleep. We say today was a continuous life for me of whatever happened, good or bad or anything, whatever happened. It's continuous. We feel the continuity because the thoughts are moving so fast. We feel a continuity on the screen because the film roll, which consists of small different pictures or slides, moves very fast. So therefore the teacher says over here, everything is changing. Thoughts are changing very rapidly. Number of thoughts, so the quantity of thoughts, the quality of thoughts, the direction in which the thoughts are coming, everything keeps changing. Nothing is the same as the previous one. So when there is such a rush of thoughts in us, who is illumining them all for us? The pure consciousness is what is illumining it for us. And the teacher says, this is what is changing. What is changing? At the realm of the mind, the thoughts are changing. Because anyatha bhuta vikalpaha. If we sit down and inquire into our own lives, if we just sit down and not do anything at all, we can watch the flow of thoughts in us, the parade of thoughts in us. Now we will think of something, next moment we will think of something else, the third moment we will think of something else. And it goes on. Whole world we can think and come back. Just sitting over here. How many thoughts have come and gone, come and gone, come and gone. Only we have identified with the thoughts. And it looks like we went through everything. But if we can just sit back, then we can watch the parade of thoughts in us. It's not a parade, it's fast moving. Very, very fast, they are just moving in front of us. So if they are moving in front of us and if we are aware of all of them, aware of all the thoughts, something must be illumining them all. And that factor should be obviously changeless. Because the changeless alone can illumine the realm of change for us. The light that is there just behind the film roll, it should just be over there, steady, firm, stable. It can't move. But the film should move. If both start moving, then we won't be able to see whatever we wanted to see over there. So something must be changeless. Only that changeless can help us to see, recognize or experience the change. What is that factor just behind this flow of thoughts in us? Rapid flow of thoughts, ever-changing thoughts. In physics, the scientists call it as flux. Flux means change. The state of flux. We are always in a state of flux. We are always in that change mood. No two thoughts are the same in us. One thought came about her, then the next thought was about this thing, the third thought was about something else. It keeps changing. Even if it is about one person, about the person it will start dwelling upon different aspects of the person. So thoughts will keep changing. Who is illuminating? So thoughts are ever changing, moving very fast in us, in front of something. What is that? The teacher said that is the pure consciousness. So it's there, the changeless, never moving, motionless we can say, and it is illumining for us the entire stream of thoughts which are moving one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. All different varieties. Says it keeps on changing. Now to give us an example, he uses the word muktasu sutravad buddhihi. Just as, says mukta means pearls. All pearls or beads, we can take any example. When pearls are there, what do? We thread them all through with a string, thread. Sutra means thread. So all the pearls have been threaded together. So all of them are held together as a chain or as a necklace with the help of the thread over there. The pearls can be different. We have varieties of pearls. Shades are different sometimes. Shapes are different. Size is different. Some are more transparent, some are less transparent. Varieties of pearls, or we can say beads. Transparent beads we can have. Not so transparent beads we can have. Transparent means glass. Some are there which are opaque. Not so much transparent. Some of them are completely opaque, solid, gross. Different types of beads. Small beads, big beads. Sizes and shapes can be different. We can have circular ones, we can have cylindrical ones, we can have different shapes, form of the beads. Varieties of them, color, everything can change. All of them have been threaded through one string. So the string is one, that's why we call it as a chain or as a necklace. So in that chain over there, in that necklace or in that garland, threads are not different. There is only one thread going through all the beads or through all the pearls. Every pearl is different. Every bead is different. We said size can be different, color can be different, texture can be different. Everything is different. So at the level of the pearls or beads, everything is different. Pearls are many, beads are many, but just behind it, what is there that is going through it all? There is the thread. And how many threads are there? There is only one thread going through all of them. And that one thread is absolutely distinct from, separate from, far removed from the bead. There is no attachment over there at all. Because only then we are able to thread them, put the beads through the thread. So thread is there holding all the pearls or beads together, but the thread has got nothing to do with the beads. The characteristics of the thread is completely different from the characteristics of the bead. It's totally disconnected. At any moment we can add a pearl or we can remove a pearl. And that is possible only when there is a disconnect between the pearl or the bead and the thread. Similarly, the teacher says, consciousness is like the thread. Sutre Manigana Iva. In the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan tells us, I thread through everything, he says. What does he thread through everything? He says, Matta Parataram na anyat kinchidasti dhananchaya. There is nothing that exists without my support, without me. I thread through everything just like a thread goes through all the money, through the pearls or through the beads. So in and through everything, the smallest to the largest, subtlest to the grossest, that we can see, which we can see, and that which we cannot see also, smallest to larger. In and through everything, it is the Lord who threads through everything, and therefore we have a concept of one whole universe. It's not broken up into pieces over there. We have we do recognize a oneness, a wholesomeness in the universe. Everything looks so continuous to us. Why is it like that? Because there is something threading through all of them. Though they look different, mineral kingdom is there, plant kingdom is there, animal kingdom is there, human beings we are there. So this tree looks different from that tree, separated there. This stone is far removed from this stone. Distance is there between them. We are there, she is there, he is there. There is definitely a distance between all of us. Some distance we have been maintaining. But in and through all of them, Bhagavan says, all of us are like beads. All of us are like pearls. Who is threading through all of us? It is the pure consciousness that is threading through all of them. And therefore, we get a wholesome picture of our life wherein we are included and everything else also is included. Things are included, beings are also included in it. The very beautiful example, in the 7th chapter it comes, I thread through everything, the Lord said. So there is nothing through which the Lord is not threading through. It's a way of saying. Means minus pure consciousness, the thing or the being exists not. Whatever it is. Terrestrial, subterrestrial, celestial, micro, macro, gross, subtle, even in the God particle, whoever has named that particle God particle, which we just can't see. Even atom we cannot see, electrons, protons, neutrons we can't see. But they have discovered one God particle which is supposed to be the tiniest. Even now they are able to break it, split it into its subparticles. God particle into a smaller particle. But the God particle itself is so small, and inside that God is sitting. Inside that pure consciousness is sitting. And therefore it is being called as God particle. Pure consciousness particle it is. So it's there in that, as well as it is there in the biggest, largest, heaviest, grossest mountain ranges, huge trees in all of us. So there is something that is threading through everything. They all are connected. None of us are disconnected up till where all 14 worlds. We leave the 14 world, even our own world. We are the ones who put partitions and compartment. This is mine, this is yours. And there is absolutely no connection between you and me, because we've got a wall over there. But there is a saying. They say when we pluck a blade of grass, a star shakes over there, very high up in the cosmos. Where is the distance? What is the distance between a blade of grass, tiniest blade of grass, so small it is, and where is the star? It is right up above. We don't even know the distance between the two of them. But they say when we pluck a blade of grass, a star shakes. When a butterfly is a very, very light, insect. It's got wings which are so very, very subtle, lightest wings. Butterfly itself is light. Its wings are even more like transparent it is. When a butterfly in the far west flutters its wings, we are told its vibrations can be felt in the far east. In the far west it is fluttering its wing. We can feel, we can pick it up. Provided we have the prerequisite, we know how to pick it up. We have to connect our frequency with its frequency. The transmitting station and the receiving station, their frequencies must match. Only then transfer will take place. So if it flutters its wings in the far west, we are told in the far east, where is the distance? What is the distance between the two? But the vibrations can be picked up. That much of connectivity is there in the whole cosmos. But we are the ones who put partitions and compartments. We differentiate, we divide, we seek to see differences. But really there is nothing like that at all. In fact, again in physics, there is something called as ether drag. When we move, the whole energy field around us moves. So when we move, only we don't move. Whatever is there around us, the entire energy field, and that energy field will be influenced by whatever is there around us and about us, gross and subtle. So when we move, everything moves around. They call it as ether drag. So there is, again in physics we call it as phase space, PHASE. So the whole cosmos, everything around us, outside of us and inside of us, everything is nothing but an energy space. What is an energy? It's nothing but pure consciousness. Nothing. There is nothing. Even in vacuum, where we say there is nothing. There is nothing means no air there. That's all. But even vacuum is illumined by pure consciousness, and pure consciousness is of the form of energy. Prakriti Purusha. We say matter and spirit, or we say matter and energy. So where is there a place which is not filled with energy? So the entire space, they call it as phase space, means it's all like packed with energy. So between the two of us, or between one object and another object, we feel it's all empty, only air in between. Air is there. Even if we pull out all the air and make it into vacuum, there is something over there which connects this object and the other object. They're all in an energy field. They're all in phase space, we say. Energy space. What is that energy? In science we will use the term energy. But here we will have to use the term pure consciousness. Brahman of the Upanishads. So therefore the teacher gives this very beautiful example of the pearls strung through a thread, going through a thread. Thread is one, it holds all the pearls together. The pearls are many, at the pearls level there is difference, but when we inquire and investigate into the thread, it is just one without a second thread, but it holds everything together. We may be able to see the thread, we may not be able to see the thread. If all the pearls are packed together, sometime we won't be able to see the thread. How are all these pearls held together, beads held together? Children will not even recognize that there is a thread going through it if they are all opaque beads. What is holding all these beads? They will ask. Magic? One on top of the other? No, there is a thread. So our attention normally goes to the pearls. it goes to the beads because of variety. We never ever seek to investigate into what is there behind the variety. So normally we are only worried about the pearls, or our attention goes to the pearls, it goes to the bead. We never ever investigate into what is it which is holding them all together and giving to us. There is a shape over there, and we register a beautiful pearl necklace. We say it's a beautiful pearl necklace. How did that pearl necklace come into being? It came into being only because of the thread. Thread can be gold thread, silver thread, whatever it is. But we have taken it for granted. We don't even investigate into it. What is it that is holding it? We have taken it for granted. Similarly, in us, we are so preoccupied. We are so preoccupied with what is happening in front of us. The thought. We are all at the thought level. Everything is just coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. We are all engaged in this great, let us say, movie that is happening within us. Outside it is there. Inside us also, if we simply sit down, there will be one whole movie that is a picture which is moving in front of us, within us. So we are all very much engaged in all the variety, the plurality, the multiplicity, the differences that are there outside, of course, and up to the thought level. We never ever investigate into what is it that is making me experience all these things. Why? Because at the thought level we have stopped. We have not gone behind the thought. We have never taken a U-turn and gone into ourselves beyond what lies beyond the thought curtain. What lies beyond the train of thoughts that are going one after the other. We have never investigated into it at all. But the fact is, it is there. Just like when we see a line of pearls, we know each one of them is different from the other. But if they're all over there, balanced in mid-air, it means there is a thread going through them all. Similarly, the teacher is saying, if you are all able to experience these thoughts lined one after the other, and moving so fast, which we call as our life's experience. We can sit down and write it also. There are people who write their diaries. What is it that they are writing? They are collecting all the thoughts. Maybe what happened morning when they got up till they sat down to write the diary. And it's a train of thought that is being written over there in words. That's all it is. Nothing else. But how did we become aware of all this continuity, which we call as our life experiences? We say life and stop over there. But it is a life's experience, jivana. It's because the pure consciousness was there, just behind it all. And with its help, we are able to register our thoughts also. So the same thing the teacher continues in the next shloka also. He says, Muktabhiravritam sutram muktayor madhya ikshate tata vritti vikalpaischa spashta madhye vikalpayoho. So now the teacher is taking us to a little more higher level. So slowly he built up for us the entire what we need to know. Why should we know? Because we want to realize who we actually are. That is what it is all about. I want to know who I am. So the teacher says, you want to know who you are? Don't you know who you are? It looks very funny for, supposing we go to somebody and say, excuse me, will you please tell me who I am? They will find it very funny. They may even mock at us. You do not know who you are? But we really do not know who we are. All that we know of ourselves is our nama, rupa, guna, kriya. We know our name, which did not exist earlier. So name, we know that name has been given to an entity. Name, form we have, qualities and characteristics we have, and whatever we are doing in our lives. Nama, rupa, guna, kriya. This is all we know of ourselves. And most of us are content and happy with that. But the teacher is talking about those who want to know even beyond that. We know our nama, rupa, guna, kriya. Who is the one who knows? Who is the one who is functioning and picking up so many roles? Now we are a satsangi. When we go to the kitchen, we can become a cook. When we go to the shop, we can become a customer. When we are in our profession, we become an employee or an employer. When we are driving our vehicle, we become a driver. How many roles are changing over there? Who is me? I am the one who was given a name by my parent, who changed my role and became a driver, became a cook, became an employer or an employee, became a satsangi, became a driver. If we are walking, we become a walker. So the role changes, but the person is one. The teacher is shifting us to even a different level, higher level. And he says, he talked about all our equipment and whatever we are going through. Now he is saying, you should know who you really are. We thought we were the reflected consciousness. The teacher has pointed out very clearly to us, we are not the reflected consciousness, because it doesn't exist in one of the states. That means he is saying, you are not the jiva, because the jiva is absent in the deep sleep. Then who are we? He is saying, you are the pure consciousness which illumines all the three states. So therefore he is trying to turn our attention to that higher state, slowly. So he says, now he has come to whatever is happening within us, because he said everything from the reflected consciousness up to the objects, external world outside of us, all are illumined by the pure consciousness only. Because that is there, we register the chair, we register the table, we register our own house, we register the tree outside or through the window. If pure consciousness was not there, we would not have known anything. First of all, no jiva. When there is no jiva, what to talk about everything in front? So it's the pure consciousness which has supported everything over there. Then he came to something within us. Whole of the world, whole of the external world exists in us as our own internal world of thoughts, ideas. Even an idea is a thought, value is a thought, memory is a thought. So he comes down to thought level. And then he says, don't you recognize the stream of thoughts in you, going one after the other, one after the other, one after the other? Who is it that is illumining for you all your thoughts? Because of which we became conscious of the thought. He says pure consciousness alone. Why are we? And give an example. The thoughts are like the beads, the pearls, and pure consciousness is the one which connects everything. Pure consciousness connects everything. Micro, macro, inside, external, outside, everything it connects for us. But he is making us take a U-turn and go within ourselves. And therefore he says, whatever is there outside is there inside you in the form of thought. They keep changing. And when any change happens, we are conscious of it. Oh, now I was just thinking of this. What happened? Suddenly I started thinking of this. How did we become aware that the thought changed? Something must have known that the thought changed in us. I'm thinking slowly now. I'm thinking fast now. How did we know? The thoughts are running slow in us. Thoughts are running fast in us. How do we know that the thoughts are good in us or the thoughts are noble in us? There is something that is illumining it all for us. All of them are pearls, and in and through them all, the teacher says there is a thread running. And what is that thread? Pure consciousness. Chiti is the word used over here. Pure consciousness is what? Is holding them all together and making it a garland of experiences for you. Making it a necklace of experiences for you, which we call my life. My life's experiences actually. Since it's too long, we say my life. So when he says this much, then we want to know whether we would like to see the thread over there. If children are given beads which have been strung onto a thread and we hold it, they will say, how are all the beads staying in a line? Magic. What is holding them together? Then we say there is a thread running through the beads. And the thread is holding all the beads together. Children want to see the thread. I want to see what is it which is holding or supporting the bead. What do we do then? We move two beads away from each other and make the child see the thread that was there. So when the beads are together, we can't see the thread. None of us were able to see. The child also was not able to see. And if we say there is a thread, it will say, no, I don't think so. So then we move the two beads apart, and then so the thread becomes evident over there. Space has been created between the two beads, wherein we can register or we can see for ourselves the thread over there. This thread was holding the bead. Similarly, all the beads. So when we move to two beads, to move is enough in the beginning. So when we move two beads, then we are able to register the thread over there. Similarly, over here, the teacher says, Muktabi Ravritam Sutram. The sutra or the thread is Muktabi Ravritam. It's hidden. What is hidden? The thread is hidden by the pearl. Just as the pearls are hidden by the thread, similarly, pure consciousness has also become veiled by, hidden by our thoughts. The thoughts just come gushing one after the other. It is not even one after the other. There are a huge number of them over there. Just it's like tsunami of thoughts. And when they are like that, coming one after the other in time and in space, where is the question of registering or seeing that which is supporting all the thoughts and which is making us aware of the thoughts? The pure consciousness is not possible at all. Therefore, the teacher says, Muktabi Ravritam Sutram. Muktayor Madhya Ikshate. We can, in the beginning, we are not able to see the thread because the pearls have covered them up, or the pearls are veiling it. The thread is hidden. Thread is there inside the pearl. Just because we can't see, we cannot say it's not there. And also, thread is inside the pearl and outside the pearl also. Similarly, Bhagavan, who is supporting all our thoughts, is the one who is inside the thought, illumining for us every thought. Every thought is a bead, and outside also. So the thread is there inside the bead and outside the bead. We can't see it because the beads are so close to each other, almost they are sticking to each other. So therefore, what can we can see? Ikshate. When can we see the thread? Muktayor Madhya. In between two pearls, we can see the thread, provided we move the pearls a little. Even if we move it 1 millimeter, even less than a millimeter, smallest, still we can register the thread. Sometimes it looks like pearls are all touching each other, sticking to each other, but we can see little space is enough over there, not too much. So in between the pearls, the teacher says you can see the thread. Similarly, tata. So also the teacher yata tata. So also vritti vikalpaischa spashta madhye, vritti vikalpaischa madhye, in between two thoughts. So one thought is like one bead, another thought is like another bead. So in between madhye, in between these changing thoughts, because all thoughts are not the same at all, not the same type. That's why the word vikalpa has been used. Variations, modifications are there. Just like we can have different types of pearls, different types of thoughts are there. So, vritti vikalpaischa madhye, in between two thoughts, vikalpayoho, dual is there. In between two cognitions, or in between two what we have registered. Registered means it has come into us as a thought. So, one thought is there, second thought is there, first bead is there, second bead is there. If we just move it a little, we can see the thread. So, one thought, the next successive thought, in between two thoughts, the teacher says, clearly you can spashta. Very clearly he says, you can experience the pure consciousness. Another very beautiful illustration would be the train. Supposing we are standing on one side of the railway track and our friend is on the other side of the railway track, and a train is passing in between the two of us. I want to keep seeing her. If I want to keep seeing her, no train must be there in between the two of us. Then continuously, eternally, I will keep seeing her. But what has happened? The train comes in between the two of us. And what does it do? The bogies are there. The bogies are like thoughts. The bogies are like pearl. So when one bogie comes in front of her, I can't see her. Then in between, before the second bogie can come, there's a small little space over there between the first bogie and the second bogie. They're connected. So there is space over there. In that space, I can see my friend. Though it can be for a fraction of a second, I can see her standing on the other side. She's waiting to cross over to the side when the train moves. So when the first bogie comes, I can't see her. In between the first and the second bogie, I can see her. When the second bogie comes and veils her, I can't see her. Then in between the second and the third, I can see her. This goes on. We are familiar with all this. So when the bogie comes in front of us, we can't see. But between two bogies, two railway coaches, there is a small space, gap over there. In that gap, we can see her very clearly. The same thing holds good over here also. The thoughts come so quickly, one after the other in succession, that we are not able to see or able to register or identify or experience the pure consciousness. Just as all the pearls are sticking to each other, we can't see the thread. All the effort that we have to put in now is to just move or separate the two pearls. If we separate the two pearls, immediately we can see the thread in between. Similarly also the teacher says, in between two vrittis, in between two thoughts, whatever be the thought, in between two thoughts, you can see, because this thought also is illumined by pure consciousness. This thought also is illumined by pure consciousness. Our attention was on the thought. Our attention was not on the pure consciousness which was supporting the thought, which was illumining the thought. Just like our attention was on the pearls. We are always fascinated by the pearls. So beautiful. How expensive is it? From where did you get it? Look at the texture. Look at the. We are worried. We are all preoccupied with the pearls, and we are never preoccupied with what is connecting them. Similarly also, we are also preoccupied with our thoughts, because thoughts is me and I am the thoughts. And thoughts is nothing but the mind. Mind is me and I am the mind. Actually, mind is the doer in us. Mind is the enjoyer in us. Body is not the doer at all. Body is used by the mind to do whatever it wants. If we want a cup of coffee, it's not the body that is demanding. It's the mind that is demanding. Anything it can be. It's not the body that wants to meet the friend. It's my mind which wants to meet my friend, because in my mind I have the thought that she is my friend. So therefore, they're taking this very beautiful example over here. All these vikalpas, these thoughts have covered up the pure consciousness in us. It's veiled. So just like the thread is not seen, we also cannot experience the pure consciousness. But the teacher says, sure, you can see. When there is a space between the two thoughts, when there is space between the beads, we can see the thread. When there is space between two bogies, we can see what is there on the other side. Similarly, we can register, we can identify, we can connect with, we can experience the pure consciousness that is just behind the thoughts, or that is running through the thoughts. But we have to go beyond. We have to separate out two thoughts. Is that if we can separate out the two thoughts and create a little bit of a space over there between one thought and another thought, the teacher says their pure consciousness is evident for you. It is there for you. He says that in the next shloka. He says, Nashte purva vikalpetu yavad anyasya na udayaha nirvikalpaka chaitanyam spashtam tavad vibhasate. It's very clearly he says, Nashte purva vikalpetu. Nashte means destroyed or subsided or gone away. What should go away? Purva vikalpe. That thought which we are just now thinking. We are now in the present. So in the present now we are thinking of a thought. In the present. Continuous present tense it is. Immediately that thought which we are now thinking of in the present goes off to the past. Past means purva. So when this thought goes to the past, it has become gone. It's gone. We have finished thinking about it because that thought has gone away. One more will come from the future. A thought will come from the future. So this is how the thinking process goes on in us. One thought comes to, thought rises, stays for some time, or it can immediately subside also. We can create a thought, we can maintain the thought, we can destroy the thought also. So the Brahma aspect, the Vishnu aspect and the Rudra aspect are all there in us at microscopic level. What is there in us is there outside. And what is there outside? Miniature is there inside us. So therefore thoughts come and go, come and go, come and go. So therefore the teacher says, when one thought comes and then when it just disappears, gets destroyed. Destroyed means it subsides. It goes off to the past. What goes off to the past, we can't retrieve it back. Time chariot has got no reverse gear. It's gone off. We can keep thinking about it, but it is gone. So when one thought, nashte, when it disappears, when it has been destroyed, or when it has subsided, yavad anyasya na udayaha, when the next thought has not yet risen up in us. He said, in between the two of them, there is a small space that we have created. A space where there are no thoughts. He says, try to create it. So the first, let's say first thought and second thought. For example, first thought has come. Till then there were no thoughts in us. First thought has come and we finished thinking about it. So that thought has become thought to do. Thought to do. Next thought has not yet come to us. We are not yet thinking of it. We are not thoughting of it. The grammar part we will forget. So one thought has gone away from the present time to the past. From the future, another thought must come to the present. If we can say, stay over there. We can give a stay order and freeze that and say, don't come now. If we can, if possible, not allow the next thought to rise in us. This thought has gone away. That thought has not yet come to us. What is there in between? It is a no thought state in us. That which we were thinking of gone away. Nashte, purva vikalpe. And anya, another thought has not, na udaya. We have not allowed it to rise in us. So one thought went away. So we are empty of it. Now the next one must come rushing in. We have said, wait, halt over there. If we can do that and say, don't come now, and this has already gone away, we are in a no thought state. We are in a thought free state over there. In that thought free state, nirvikalpaka chaitanyam. Vikalpa means thoughts. Nirvikalpa means no thought. At that point of time, chaitanyam spashtam tavad vibhasate. Then at that point of time, we are face to face with what? We are face to face with that which is free of thoughts. In the thoughts, what was riding? The thoughts were riding on pure consciousness. Thoughts have been removed. What is there? We can't say nothing is there. Pure consciousness is there. Because the next thought was waiting to come. So it's like before I can pull in this bead I have pulled onto the other side. The next bead I have to pull in. So one bead is on this side, another bead is on that side. I have created a space in between. I can see the thread. So if we can do that, if we can distinct just two thoughts, the teacher says over here, not more in the beginning, just two thoughts, first thought and second thought, or between the second thought and the third thought, or between the third thought and the fourth thought, because thoughts are moving in us, rapidly they are coming. So one after that they are sticking to each other. Actually they've all gotten into each other. No space between them at all. But he says, if you can do it in your seat of contemplation and separate out two thoughts, In between the two thoughts, we can't say there is nothing. Yes, there is no thing, because thing means thought within us. When there is no thing, something is there. When we say there is nothing, I am not thinking, how do we know we are not thinking of anything? Somebody must be illuminating that also for us, that there is no thing over there, that this thought has gone and that thought has not yet come. We are in the state of knowing the pure consciousness. And what is there to know over there? We are that, is what the teacher is saying. There are no two. So knowing the pure consciousness is not outside of us, like how we know this and how we know her and how we know him. It is knowing ourselves. That's the time when we get introduced to ourselves, who we truly are. Spashtam, the teacher says. Spashtam tavat vibhasate. Bhasate means to illumine. Vibhasate, very, very clearly. Spashtam, two words used. Spashtam and vi. Both mean there is no doubt at all. There is no room for any doubt at all. Any question there. Very, very clear it will become. Very, very evident it will become. I know myself. Till now, we thought we knew ourselves. But what we knew about ourselves was what the whole world told us about ourselves. Whatever it is, we project outside and they tell us, you are this, you are that, you are that. So all that we knew of ourselves was reflected consciousness onwards, outside. Beyond that is the true, real me, which we never knew. Why? Because of that thought curtain, that thought train that was there. And therefore the teacher is saying, halt the thoughts. You allow the thought that is there in you, the present, to move away. Don't allow the next thought to come to you. So create a gap between the past thought and the future thought. Don't allow the future thought to become the present thought. And also allow the present thought to become the past thought. What is there in the present? There is no thought. No thought state is the state of enlightenment. We are free from everything. And very, very clear, surely, sir, we will be able to realize who we are. The teacher is telling us over here. It is Shastra Pramana and Guru Pramana over here. With authority, the teacher is telling us, sure, Spashtam Tavat Vibhasate. That pure consciousness will clearly shine. Not shine on us so that we know ourselves. We are of that nature. We are of the nature of pure consciousness. So he told us to create a gap. Will that do, sir? We can ask him. Will just creating a gap between one thought and second thought do for us? A glimpse of the reality within ourselves. Within ourselves means glimpse of who we really are. But the future is waiting to bombard into us. Thoughts. We just somehow made it halt over there. They are ready to come in. So there comes in our effort. What should we do? The teacher will tell us, which we will take up in the next class.